A very good morning to you. It's 6:15. It's that day. It's Tuesday when wanasemangaje imeturamba, something like that. But still, we're into it. It's the 5th of May. And already 5 days into a new month, and hope you're doing okay as we get into it this morning. Looking into conversations that we'll have today. This is Ndu. Dennis Aseto will be with us in a minute because, Tuesdayed and did the thing. But we move regardless. Amma? Yes. If you're tuning in, this is the Situation Room. It's Kenya's biggest conversation, and we're getting into it this morning. Quite a number of things going on. And I know a lot of the politics shapes the conversations that we have. But you know what? There are quite a number of issues that we're going to discuss. Either way, so I'm glad that you made it here with us this morning. I know it's another day where it was dry a little bit, so people didn't have to worry too much about rain falling from the sky. So, whereas it's a good thing because there's going to be a lot of harvesting in a couple of weeks, in a few weeks or so. So that's a good thing. But it was just a lot of folks were happy to be dry. I was coming to work this morning and a couple of days ago actually, and one of the streets passing through, it was interesting because the cows were on the road. I was wondering what on earth is going on. So it had rained so much that where their normal pasture is with the Maasai who keep them, it was wet and uncomfortable. So they chose to find warmth and comfortability on the road, on the tarmac. And I thought that was interesting because cars are moving, but they couldn't be bothered because they were getting what they needed to get. I think it's like a wildlife scene every time I'm coming to work in the morning, because then today we saw what is a group of rabbits called? The hares, like the ones with the long ears. You know how a group of monkeys is called a parliament of monkeys? Did you know that? And I wonder, what's a group of hares called? A group of rabbits. I should find that out, by the way. If you know, please let me know. So anyway, there was a group of rabbits on the road today, and I thought that was a fun thing to see. As we wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning, they were going about their business before the light shines. They were getting in the last bits of, food that they could before they then get into their holes for the day, to then rest a little bit, to be away from humankind and all our drama. So that was interesting to see as I got into it this morning. So yes, that was what my morning was like. Who? A drove of hares, or a husk of hares. Yeah? Okay. Evelyn has told me it's called a drove of hares or a husk of hares. I saw a drove of hares this morning. Yes. Did you know? So now we're just talking about useless information. A group of geese is called a gaggle of geese. Gaggle. I am still stuck on Parliament of Monkeys. Do with that information as you wish. All right. So we're getting into it this morning. Before Dee gets here, let me tell you some of the things that we'll be talking about today. Sawa. And how our conversations will pan out this Tuesday. We'll definitely talk about education at some point. For us to then be able to look into a couple of things. At 7 o'clock, we start off with two of our guests who will join us to have a conversation around about hidden charges, inflated fees, who is actually accountable for this. Of course, there's a run around, a lot of information flying back and forth. Who inflated the fees? Upon what basis did they do this? Were they justified to do that, or did they go a little bit over the top? And are we going to have an open and honest conversation about the fact that if the ministry or if the education sector has said this is the school fees that must be, are we going to have an open and honest conversation about the fact that they have guided on those fees because they know that there's an amount that they will send in terms of a subsidized rate, and that a rate can be subsidized because there is an amount that the government sends for capitation. Now, if that capitation does not come, then does it give rise to some kind of justification as to why you can then raise fees to a certain amount? And is it agreeable by parents on the larger scale? Are we having an open and honest conversation about that? I do not know, but definitely between 7 and 8, we will do exactly that, because let's crack this thing once and for all and get to the bottom of it. Why are schools actually charging extra fees above and beyond what the demanded rate by the Ministry of Education is? Is it greed or is it necessity? Hidden costs, hidden charges, inflated fees. Dr. Kilema Mweria is an education and governance expert. He's a former Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education. He'll be joined by educationist Dr. Davis Okombo. We'll talk with both of them at 7. Let's do real, guys, and let's talk about some of the things that we will be discussing, rather that are important around this particular issue. All right. At 8 a.m., the president of the Law Society of Kenya, Charles Kanjama, will be in the presence of Fanya Mambo Kenovia, who is the National Chairman, Association of Certified Mediators in Kenya. Now, there's a role and credentials for mediators. Mediators, as you know, not necessarily have to be advocates, but you can actually have your case brought before a mediation chamber, and you may not necessarily have to be brought to court if you settle in that manner. Now, when we talk about who takes what where, is there an issue? Do lawyers have an issue with mediators? Do mediators say, well, let us go ahead and do our job? Both of these gentlemen will join us in the studio at 8 o'clock. We'll be talking about these things, and let's see what it actually means. Letters have been flying. People have been saying whatnot. Let's talk at 8 about the role and credentials for mediators. A donkey is called a beast of burden. Did you know that? Yes, it is, because they carry, they fetch, they do all sorts of things. I don't know that I've ever heard a donkey being kept as a pet. Have you? Interestingly, in my daughter's school, and you can find this information out later, there's a donkey, his name is Douglas. Douglas was actually, may rest his soul, Douglas passed away, but Douglas used to carry, the food stuff that would come through. Douglas used to work in the school garden. He's been replaced by another donkey, and now that new donkey does the work. I wonder if in the donkey world, the girl donkeys don't do the heavy lifting like the boy donkeys do. Should I say male and female? Probably. The male and female donkeys have the same work. Anyway, what am I saying? We're going to be talking about preserving the African donkey at 9 o'clock. Florence Ndeti is the director, Caritas Kitui, and Dr. Raphael Kinoti is the regional director, Brooks East Africa. We'll be talking about preserving the African donkey. Is it just the beast of burden, or does it add a significant contribution to how industry back then was developed and what it can still do today? I just told you about a school in modern day Kenya that is using this animal to basically do things that, humans don't need to. Okay? So those are the conversations that we'll be having today. We're going to start off with education. We're going to go into a bit of mediation, and then we're going to round it off with looking into the preservation of the African donkey. Hizo vitu ndo tunaongea leo tukiingia kwa nasemana nini mtandao. Kitu kama. My darling Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, baby girl. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. How far?
Hey, let me tell you.
They did that thing to you today,
It's not even that thing.
Eh?
Let me tell you. When you construct roads and don't think about drainage, barabara, inakuwa craters.
Oh,
so yeah, we went to pick someone, but so because of the road, and the matatus are also matatuing. Yeah. But I'm here.
You are here, and that's what matters.
That's all that matters.
Karibu sana.
We keep pushing.
We keep pushing.
Yes. Walisema mtatengeneza mabarabara. Kama ni mbovu, sema. Kila mtu asimame nyuma project yake.
Hata kama hiyo project ni mbaya. Simama nyuma.
Simama nyuma.
Tuone vile
There's no way you're constructing roads and you're not having drainage and don't also have a plan on maintenance. Nimeanza na ubaya. Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm very fine. I'm happy to see you.
Me too. I'm happy to see you.
I'm
Happy
glad
to be
that
here.
you're okay.
Umefika wapi so far? Nisikia ukiambia tu watu kuhusu Day of the Donkey.
Hapana, tulianza na vile nilikuja asubuhi and I saw a drove of hares. Evelyn was so kind as to tell us that a group of hares, the cousin of the rabbit, is called a drove or a husk.
Okay.
So I often see, you know how we've encroached onto the animals' land. So I often see coming to work many animals.
Droves of them, yeah.
So today I saw a drove of hares, and it was so cute. There were about 6 or 7 of them. They were some were big, some were small, but they were gathering up the last bits of breakfast before all the cars come and try to send them away. So that was the interesting part of my morning.
That's beautiful.
I've seen, what else have I seen coming to work? I've seen giraffe. I've seen antelope is just normal.
When you were at work?
Oh, yeah.
Giraffes around here?
You guys want to know where I live, don't you? I'm the queen of my territory.
Yes.
We all live in the national park.
I know
you that?
antelopes somewhere.
Everybody encroached on the animals' land, but we could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Evelyn,
And
as
it
a
kicks
Kwani
the
Unaishi wapi?
Maasais from their land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just fun because every time you see them coming up this way, either they're looking for something or they're running away from something.
Yeah.
So when you see them, and they actually come up very early in the morning. I mean, at a time like this, you would never see them. But like 3:30 in the morning, you see them, and they've come out to enjoy what we've taken from them.
Because they know.
They know.
If
They've
you
come
see
out to
them,
enjoy
you'll
what
eat
we've
them.
taken.
Chakula.
Hyena have been caught in our area. I know now Evelyn is saying, Kusha, done, where?
So hyenas have been caught. You've seen droves of hares. There is also giraffes.
I've seen a secretary eagle, actually. Secretary bird. Yeah, it was so fun. I took a picture, actually. I should look for that picture. Anyway.
Ulishaambia tukuze Eritrea and their proverb.
Hapana, tulikuwa tunakungoza.
Ulikuwa unangoja? Anyway, so we'll not go into a lot of Eritreans, but just know they have a tank of graveyard, tank graveyard. But the proverb today, itakuwa, the tongue has no bone, however, it has the capacity of breaking bones. Woo! The tongue has no bone, however, it has the capacity of breaking bones. I know you can use the tongue for a lot of things.
If we were going to use the literary meaning of this, that actually, in terms of the tongue as an agent of speech, really be careful what you say.
True.
That you would imagine that something so small would not be able to break somebody, but I've seen and experienced the damage actually that words that you speak can actually do to another human being. And so it may be little in comparison to the other, major parts of your body, but the danger and the damage that it can actually wield is untold. So I think it behoves us to all be very careful about how we speak. And I've often said, and maybe just me as an individual, but how you say what you say to me matters.
Thank you. Please repeat that statement.
How you say what you say to me matters.
But don't come with that tone.
Hey. So, I mean, I could either retaliate or I could withdraw.
True.
And I guess even as I say that it matters to me what you say, then it should also matter to me how I speak to other people as well.
True.
So that to temper it all with caution, because you can do something to somebody. A wound can heal physically, but the damage that you do to somebody with words that you speak, you cannot take them back. Yeah.
I mean, I think this also just goes, especially now that we see in the political space, I think it behooves upon us as Kenyans to remember what words did to the country a while back. So you remember the talk of Madoa, just speech, and we saw post-election violence in the country. Today, you talk about the attacks that we see, and all these things are being planned in a room, people having discussions. So let's be careful and know that our tongues can be used for good.
Yep.
And for good, I mean good.
For actual good.
Yes.
Yes. Let me say hello to people. Our live stream is up. Cindo, am I lying? If it is our live stream actually up, or it's my fingers that are not doing the walking this morning, like Johnny. What's going on? I'm not sure. But our live stream should be up YouTube, Facebook, and on X. Find us there. And a very good morning to our audience on KTN. Thank you for clicking in this morning. And we know that quite a number of people are tuning in today. I want to say a special shout out to my friend, my person, Joroge Waweru. Good morning to you. I know that you're listening, tuning in this morning. Karibu sana, and I hope you're doing well. I'm going to answer you in just a minute. As you tune in this morning, thank you for doing so. We know that some of you are getting to the point where you're going to bed, but you take a moment to listen in the morning. So Karibu sana, and thank you for doing that. Yes, indeed, our live stream is up today. So yes, we can see you, and a very good morning to you tuned in. Peter Kiari said, good morning from Mombasa. Always have a unique character like sugar. Its presence is not felt, but its absence makes all things flavorless. Cindo, you don't feel the presence of sugar?
Okay.
Okay.
Nasikia utamu.
Wewe, 6:30. Robert Mbogo says good morning, tuned in from Mombasa. And a very good morning to you, Nyakundi Emmanuel. Good morning, Njona Seto. We love this injection by the Standard Group. Keep up with the bold newspaper. Wacha tukwambie nini kwa headline leo. Osana Mark says good morning, Spice. Listening from Kitengela. At least today the rains have given us peace a little bit. Wishing everyone a blessed Tuesday. Kimiak says, good morning, Team Spice. Another fine morning to remind you all that nothing good will come out of the Kenya Kwanzaa administration. Oh, God. All right. Sometimes you know how you're reading something and you don't know until you get to the end of it. But hey, good morning, Team Spice, says Tibbs Muge. Liumi says, good morning. A refinery in Tanga, Tanzania. It was just interesting to hear President Samia Suluhu.
Yeah.
She was blasting President William Ruto, but she said it like this. You wouldn't imagine what she was saying. Excuse me, we were in a meeting just now and then I'm hearing that you're announcing about a refinery in Tanga. I have no idea what you're talking about. So guess what? You are the one who's going to come and tell them. Oh, that's exactly. She didn't. Her voice did not raise 1 decibel.
Nope.
It did not change in inflection or intonation. Nothing.
There is also the part where I was listening to her speak. Ambao wanakuja kutusumbua sisi kuhusu demokrasia. Nilisema wewe wapige fimbo, wakikuja huku pia nitawapiga fimbo kwa sababu hatuwezi kubali watu kutuharibia nchi zetu.
Sheesh.
Yes.
All right.
Now you know how the presidents are thinking.
Exactly. James says, good morning. Another blinding question we must decline to answer. Ata huku mnasema ni nani? Even identical twins and spouses should be independent in how they choose leaders. All right. Don Salbo says 188 is the new slogan in town. Education system isn't. Well, I'm not going to say that word on air, but I hear what you're saying. Where is Kupet, Nut, Kewata, and the education CS? That's a good question. We'll be talking about some of these things at 7 o'clock. Jimmy Munothi says, good morning. Will Kenyans be allowed to buy shares in the Tanga refinery? Well, it will be interesting because the president of Tanzania doesn't even seem to know what that's all about. Joseph Okondo says, good morning, Ndwana Seto, tuned in from Tudor, Mombasa. Caroline Nyambura says, good morning, everyone. Now, Apenda Sana, wishing you a blessed day ahead. And to you too, my sister. Eric Awar says, good morning. Thank you for being constant, Eric. Zach OK says, good morning. Twin Cities here. Minneapolis and St. Paul in Minnesota. That's what it is. One of my best friends, actually, from Minnesota. Shout out to Katie O'Brien this morning. Christina, good morning. I hope it's okay if I make a request. Go ahead. For every MP who comes here should be asked if he or she was in Parliament the day KPC was being discussed. Yeah. And if they were absent, do they blame the executive? Well, Robert Mbui, the MP for Kaviani, tells us there were only 8.
Yeah.
But they passed the thing. And quorum
should be
demands 60% for passing of anything. So ask yourself the question, on the particular day when KPC was being discussed, where were you?
Yeah.
Clinton Sereti from Misiolo. I love it how people announce themselves. Nduoko, good morning. I love it. Very good morning to you. Fiery Red says, good morning, Ndwana. I said, how are you? 50. Kabisa. Nahashan Gogi says, good morning. Our Princess Ndu Dennis and the entire Spice family back to regular schedule programming. Jet lag Kiasi. You traveled far and wide. Love from Arizona. Good morning to you, Karibu Sana. Jennifer Atenyi says, good morning, my favorite duo. Tech team and all the Spice family have an easy day. Ndu, on Naivasha Road can be a mess in the morning. Cindy,
let me tell you.
Jennifer gets it.
And it's because of matatus who've taken over the road, businesses who've encroached on the road. If there is anywhere where Kenya needs to visit, it's Naivasha Road.
It's Naivasha Road.
Because what the hell? That's such a major road because it's linking two highways. Gong Road. Farther to the bypass.
Yeah.
And Waiakwe.
Come on, guys. Come on. We can do better. I mean, it's been a point of complaint for very
long time.
Long time. Needs to be looked into.
And guess what? There is an AP line there. And outside the AP line, matatus have taken over. So in case of an emergency, even the APs themselves
will not be able
to get to you on time.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
This is reality of our times, folks. These are the things that we should not keep quiet about. My Prince says, good morning. Tanzania Suluhu said, watu wapigwe Jeledi, and Bwana Ruto shook his head in agreement with her sentiments. Mko salama lakini?
Mimi siko salama.
Then it's about to tell people to shut up.
Yeah, but then they should.
He's very close this morning.
Even that story of shut up.
I'm going to tell your mom. Wanda says good morning. Ndwana Seto. From Toronto, I wish you a blessed day, and to you too, my dear. Luke Baraza says good morning, Ndwana Seto. Education CS cites over 150,000 learners that didn't transition to grade 10. This should be worrying. It should be. It is worrying. We really need to do a lot, or else we'll lose the gains made in the past.
That's one guy who should leave office. He promised us 100% transition. If you failed to deliver that, what the hell are you doing in office?
Dennis is a little bit ticked off this morning.
It's true.
You don't want to cross this man today, I'm telling you.
But is it true or not? He promised, right? If we are to speak of everyone to stand behind their words, his promise of 100% transition, him admitting that of 150,000 students didn't transition, what the hell are you doing in office?
It's true. I think we need to have a fire extinguisher just here. I don't know what you can make happen.
Hey, let me tell you, today I woke up with a gospel song. Fire, 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 follow me.
Yikes. Okay. Finally, Dennis is in. I'm happy, Jennifer. He's here. As you can see, he's here. Margaret Wanjo, he says, good morning, tuning from Houston, Texas. Hope you all are doing good. Let's continue the great conversations. Kabisa. Yustov Dachi says, good morning. Nikweli Kimeturamba. Imagine transferring my child to a previous school she was schooling earlier, and I'm being asked to pay 26,500 for a grade 5 in Nakuru County. How can this happen? Tutongea at 7, because it's true. This is the reality for a lot of people. Greetings from Juja. This is Stan Lingashe. He has a great view of Mount Kilimanjaro every morning. Hats off to you, man. The beef between Botswana and South Africa is tipping fast.
Yeah.
Power bila power. It doesn't look too good. And of course, there was the announcement from the Kenyan government yesterday, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of course, through the House in South Africa. If you don't have to be in public spaces and you're a Kenyan living in South Africa at the moment, you need to then stay away because the situations are getting pretty volatile.
The Nigerian government as well has announced that it will be repatriating its citizens from Nigeria, from South Africa.
So, doesn't look good. Bonjour, mes amis. Ndu must be living in Kajiado. Close, but not really. The world is my oyster.
Yes.
If you can guess, I'll tell you. What will I give you?
And in that oyster is Kajiado.
I'll make you chin chin. The person who can guess where, I'll make you chin chin. Now, the mystery here is for you to go and find out what chin chin is.
Yeah.
And if you want it badly enough for me to make it for you, then you must be able to tell me the area in which I live. Wawero, you cannot guess, because Wawero knows where I live. Young Jedi says, a parliament of owls. Indeed, it is a parliament of owls as well. Ambassador Besha says, good morning. Good morning to you. Thomas Osoro says, good morning. Good to see you. Lots of expectation from your today's discussion. Indeed. Linda Gola, good morning, my sister. Rogers Light, tuned in, Team Spice. Where? So many people here. Let's get through it real quick. Isaac Ale says, good morning, Ndona Seto. Yesterday's last hour was my daily dose of anger. Boss, the things that we continue to hear every day, we cannot keep quiet. Margaret says, indeed, think before you talk. Count 1 to 10 before saying some things. Take a walk. I've had to do that quite some.
True. Boaz
Nyakundi says, good morning. Rashid is also tuned in. Raskodur says, good morning. Leo Sinamengi. Nikuwasilisa tu. Rhoda Wamboy says, good morning from the UK. And Drift Session says, good morning. The Business Daily headline, we'll get into that in just a minute. Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard, going after Uhuru. It was not a suggestion, but it seems like something that's actually going to be done. Never before in the history of the country has a former president faced intimidation and harassment by the regime in power. Under President William Ruto's administration, retired President Kenyatta has never had peace since he handed over power. Ruto's government continues to vilify and disrespect him, with the latest incident being a move to strip Uhuru of his constitutional perks through a bill sponsored by Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei, another of Ruto's sycophants. This mistreatment of the only surviving former head of state sets a bad precedent. He's actually mentioned it in the House. He did so yesterday, and here we are connecting politics with governance administration and saying, you know what, because he's sponsoring whatever the case may be. I mean, he didn't come right out and say it, but hey, if it waddles and has downy feathers, it's a duck. It basically came out and said, look, we can strip him of whatever perks that he has. All right, we're going to look into that story in just a bit. Let me cruise through. The Standard goes on to page 2 to talk about the demise of Dr. Obwaka. Love affair, last meal. Police probe poisoning in Dr. Obwaka death. We also see that the alleged sub-suspect, or who's being called a person of interest, has been held for another 10 days, granted by the magistrate yesterday for the investigations to continue. Investigators are probing a possible poisoning case after the senior physician died suddenly at a Kitengela home. Suspicion arose after his abrupt collapse following a meal with recovered items now undergoing toxicology. I keep telling you that you can do so many silver screened things from here, because how did this now suddenly morph into this? Horror. Yeah. As a PCEA preacher is killed at his church, no less. So, last night, this may not have made it to the news, but an airline's website was hacked. And they were selling tickets from Nairobi to Mombasa for 999 shillings. And you had an hour to buy your ticket, but it was authentic. It came from the airline's website, and I don't even know how many people bought these tickets for 999, and they had an hour to do so. But guess what? The folks jolly well went off with their money, and by the time the folks recovered the thing, the airline, the tickets had been sold. Yeah. Somebody's going to be showing up to the airport on Friday saying, excuse me.
We're going to be traveling, man.
Allah. It's my ticket. I bought the thing. How about you give me? And then you tell them that hapana.
Well, I'm checking in premium.
In fact, make it 1,000. Put me on first class.
First class. You know?
Yeah.
I want to enjoy some meal on the flight.
Kumbe hakuna nothing.
Give me some dash of kombucha.
Hey. Yawa. People should be allowing this guy to be coming to work early. Now, sasa unaona ile shida umeniingiza. New report shows why Pioneer CBE learners are dropping out of school. The Pioneer CBE learners are the current grade 10s.
Yes.
And this report is out. Look, you never have to go far to look for these things, and they're right here. We had a spotlight on health yesterday, and the stories that came out of that were interesting at best. Today, of course, looking into education at 7 o'clock, and some of the things that are really jumping out at us are interesting. Nairobi City leads in crime cases among counties. Okay. Ruto has a headache, guys, and this headache is Mount Kenya. Allies defect as one-term chorus swells. More and more people are jumping off the ship like rats. Rats on a ship are scampering for safety. I don't know where safety lies, but okay. Ruto's allies start process to halt Uhuru's pension and other perks. And package UDA wants to withdraw from Uhuru is detailed on page 9. ODM sets tough demands for 2027 coalition talks with UDA. We know that they were on this retreat in Mombasa. Come, these people, they've been retreating every day. Yeah. They retreated to Kilifi, they retreated to Mombasa. Now they've retreated again to Mombasa. Yeah. Something better be telling you that these talks don't seem to be working, or at least get something sorted out real quick, because time is waiting for nobody.
This meeting is going to be held at Chungo House.
Hey, Jermaine.
What are they talking about?
I hope that this one would have gotten some kind of resolution that helps to then be, because you're keeping people in limbo. Okay?
It is okay. Keep on retreating.
On the opinion pages today, Professor Munavu, a scholar who never harbored academic chauvinism. It's interesting. This has been written by Kennedy Buhere, who's a communication specialist, looking into that. That and many more stories make up the Standard this morning, as well as in the counties where Ukwala families battle sickle cell stigma despite improved care. That still continues. Get yourself a copy of the Standard today, or the Standard e-paper. You can have the news in your pockets.
You know, it's rare that in a single day you'd get headlines that are almost similar. So on the Daily Nation as well, going after Uhuru's hefty perks is what carries the day. And angered by former President Uhuru Kenyatta's dabbling in politics, including criticism of President Ruto, the ruling coalition's leaders have revived the campaign to block his state-funded benefits, reigniting a feud between rival political camps. One asks the question, if you are former president, does your right to participate in politics get lost?
Good question. Does that mean it's like I'll never forget when Jay-Z said that he was retiring from the music scene, and then he did a collabo, I think the next year, and then somebody says, "How could you come back and sing? You told us that you were going to retire." Jay-Z said, "Excuse me,
did you take
I said I was retiring, but I never said I was never going to open my mouth again." I won't forget. And every time somebody says that, I just remember that Jay-Z's mention. Uhuru, now because he's no longer president, does that mean that he has to sit in the corner and just not say anything?
That it would not participate in politics.
I'm just asking.
Just asking as well.
Yeah.
Now, debt crisis adds 1.3 trillion shillings to pay interest on loans. Now, the government plans to spend 1.4 trillion shillings of the 4.8 trillion budget for the 2026-27 financial year on interest payment for maturing loans, according to estimates presented to Parliament on April 30th. So we're talking about 1.3 trillion shillings being spent on interests. What are we spending on for development and for services in the country? It begs the question. Uhuru's ODM faction seeks to heal the rift in a new power play. Are we likely to see them reaching out to the breakaway faction, Linda Mwananchi, to have a discussion on how to move the party forward? Or was it just another statement? Why SHA numbers don't add up? That's according to a report. Now, when the government placed the National Health Insurance Fund with the Social Health Authority in 2024, the pitch to Kenyans was that NHIF had failed and a new, better designed scheme would cover more people and offer broader benefits. But 2 years later, SHA is spending far more than it is collecting, and hospitals and patients are complaining. It's a conversation we had yesterday.
Yes.
It's a conversation that we will continue to have until that time when correct and proper services are given to Kenyans. Now, state petitioners clash over Ngong-Riruta railway funds. Now, petitioners say use of cash from the Railway Development Levy Fund to finance Ngong-Riruta commuter line is illegal. Now, court has suspended construction of the railway line and ordered Kenya Railways to release key project documents. And that is the picture of Busia Senator Andrew Okoiti Omtata. Do you know he's called Andrew?
I did not know about the Andrew.
He's behind that petition that has been filed in court. Now, food for the rich, rising prices keep tomatoes out of most Kenyans' reach. Now, according to the 2026 economic survey, the average retail price has remained relatively high from last year. A meme is going out there that if you just want to know that someone is cartel or someone is rich, look at the number of onions and tomatoes they're buying. It's a clear indicator that you're doing well in life. It's not even having a full tank. Tomatoes and onions. Yes. Lobby challenges directive on firearms. Now, Katiba Institute has filed a case challenging directive by Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen on the use of force and guns by police officers. The lobby says the order is illegal as it purports to direct the Attorney General to represent any officer facing a case on the use of force. Lakini Kipchumba Murkomen is a lawyer.
Sindio?
You would know that there is the constitution that talks about a right to life. There is also the police operating procedures that direct police on how to use firearms. And if you read both, they would tell you how a firearm is supposed to be used and at what point. Mimi si lawyer, but nasoma katiba and I think I can understand. He needs interpretation. Interpretation.
Yes.
Yeah. You can seek my services, sir.
There's something in the water, EVE.
Yeah, so we have Kenyatta's leap of faith as he puts on leg in opposition. Governor has been under pressure from leaders in Mount Kenya to abandon President Ruto. However, he said, I would not seek re-election in UDA. I'm going to be communicating in due course.
It just made me so happy. His voice, again, is another person who doesn't raise his voice.
Yep.
The intonation or inflection in his voice does not change.
Just flat.
But whatever he is saying is heavy. He came on Sunday the day that people were in Moranga, and what did he say?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were coming. But it's not possible for things to happen, and the governor of the county is unaware. Lakini, you have come and we welcome you. If you find yourself going around Muranga and I'm not there, it's because, I had previously arranged things that I was doing. But please, do feel most welcome. I loved it. Karibu. I loved it.
Karibu.
He also went on to say, we thank you for this wing of this hospital that you have built. People keep asking me which party I am in or whatever I'm doing, but that is only going to last for the next 14 months. This hospital will last to take care of generations.
Yes.
So those are the important things. He was telling the president directly. Gotta love the man.
You see, sir, mimi ni governor, this is my home, but despite the fact that you came and without letting me know, Karibu, you can speak to your people.
Exactly.
Now, question. Who's telling the truth? The sheer numbers that refuse to add up. Here's the thing. I would look at it from two angles. There is what the cabinet secretary and government is saying, and there is what the people are saying.
Yeah.
The people are the ones who are consuming SHA. And I would say the truth comes from them. Because the people who are telling us it's working, I am sorry,
are not using the thing.
are not using the thing. So they can't tell us
Yes.
it's working.
It's true.
Nimemalizia hapo, angalia star.
Okay, thanks, please. Now that I've been given permission, I know he'll be back. Kenya bets big on 10 mega dams to secure its future. All right. Facilities under construction are at different stages of progress. So what we're being told is that there are dams being constructed in the city. Let me tell you something.
Yep, tell me.
I am positivity patty. If it's actually going to happen, I think it's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
And that if money is being put behind this, because now this is an element of development. Because if people can have water to put in their farms that will feed them or that they can then sell for profit, that is how you start to turn the wheels of development. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you build mega structures, super highways, and that people are not using those roads because they're unable to, number one, afford it, or they have nothing to take to move on those roads, then we have a problem. But here where you have the provision of water that goes directly to the ground that then yields a crop that somebody can then eat to remain alive, or that they can sell to then propel other activities. Now that's what we're talking about. It is my hope and prayer that this is actually a thing. Please, I beg you, in the name of God, in the name of Jehovah and Jesus, all of the names, Rose of Sharon, Lion of Judah, please, if this is actually happening, see them to completion. You will be amazed at what then you'll be able to do. The facilities are under construction. We are being told that there are levels of progress. May the day break.
Yes.
Family planning shows signs of strain as few seek contraceptives. I beg go, if you cannot take care of the child, don't do the do. That's just my thing.
If you must do the do, strap it.
Finish, period. How PWDs, people with disabilities in Malindi, are reclaiming visibility, rights and their dignity. Soldier on.
Yeah.
How the state plans to reduce food imports and lift local production again. If this is actually happening, I say the state, please, these are the things now that we're talking about. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Mbadi says that Ruto has steered the economy through tough times. And to that, I'll just say, okay.
Okay. But hey, what happened to infrastructure?
There was that.
Yeah.
There was the infrastructure fund.
Because at some point he told Kenyans that he lied to them. FCPA John Bad, you lied.
Wow. Here we are thinking that I'm Metulia now. Yikes. How lies exposed Joey as a heartless calculating killer. Allah, this is the story you want to read. Rider-free jail terms for 2 hijack plots upheld. This is the story that's happening with a Bora rider lacked a link to the crime, so somebody's been let go. And that mega dam project, it will transform farming, and I actually see a connection between the two. So if it's actually going to happen, it's a good thing. That story on the Business Daily today that folks were interested in. KDF.
Yes.
Get 6 billion shillings for Israeli air defense amid Iran war.
6 billion shillings for Israeli air defense amid Iran war. Okay.
So Kenya is seeking funds so that it can boost its defense system to ward off the drones that might be coming in the war.
Okay.
And to the tune of 6 billion shillings.
Okay.
Tower.
So.
Okay. We also know that the defense budget is one of the largest in the country.
Yeah.
Education, of course, being one of them. Defense being another big ticket item. Yeah, that's a big story on the Business Daily today. DP World avoids 520 million shilling Kenyan claim in phone sacking row. That's another story that you can look into today. All right, so that's what the headlines look like today, all around the world. And this story, can I go quickly through it?
Yeah, sure.
Before we get to the top of it, if the page can just allow itself to be turned. It's a story that we go back into the Standard to look into. Horror as PCEA preacher killed at his church. Grief surrounded the Presbyterian Church of East Africa at the Tabuga Parish in Lanet after Reverend Julius Ndumia was murdered inside the church compound. Congregants were in tears and shock after learning that the spiritual leader who had served them for almost 4 years was no more. PCEA Secretary General Reverend Robert Waithenya condemned the killing. We pray for the comfort and peace of his wife, children, and the entire family during this trying time of grief. Despite police placing barriers at the church gate and the gates of the pastor's house, congregants and residents forced their way in, demanding to see their pastor. County Police Commander Samuel Boyd said the attackers entered the church compound at around 2 a.m. on yesterday morning. Okay. We believe they used the watchman either through torture or trickery to force the pastor to open the door before attacking him and killing him. The pastor had a cut to the back of his neck, suggesting he may have been struck with an axe or a machete. Before the cleric and the watchman had their hands tied. We understand that nothing was stolen from the pastor's house, including his mobile phone. However, the house was messy, suggesting that they were looking for something. The assailants also broke into the parish offices and ransacked them. We will protect him, the watchman, while he undergoes treatment. Investigations have commenced and we will update on everything. Of course, we were asking questions as per why was he living within the church compound. Well, the Presbyterian, Anglican, and to some extent Catholic churches will have the parish residence not too far from the church or within the church, premises. So that's a practice, just in case anybody's wondering why that happens. It's very normal. Of course, who were these assailants? They didn't take anything. Yeah. So there was a reason why this happened. It's unfortunate that has happened. Yeah. And our hope is that those investigations will go quickly to find out and that there can be some kind of closure. But for such a horrible thing, may his soul rest in peace.
In peace.
That's what the stories look like this morning, folks. All right, we're getting into education. There's so many dominoes to knock down. In the education sector, we're going to continue having the conversation for us to know exactly what's going on. 150,000 didn't make it to grade 10, and some of those grade 10s are dropping out today. And we're asking questions about inflated fees, but we're going to ask the big question about why are schools raising fees. Let's look at the fundamentals and let's try to not be emotional here. Why are schools actually raising fees? I'm not talking about those other things where you're saying people are flying to wherever they're flying to, but if capitation is not reaching schools, are the schools then justified to raise the fees and get into an agreement with parents in order to ensure that learning takes place and all the other details of school are then taken care of?
I think also the difficult question to ask is, with government not issuing capitation, what happens to quality of education if schools do not hike fees?
You have to ask the question and we have to find the answers. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.